Hi there and welcome back to Mommy Hates Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make Ninja Foodi chicken wings, which can also be made in any air fryer too. As always, remember you can find this recipe and more at mommyhatescooking.com. Let's get started cooking. Hi, it's Christy Still with Mommy Hates Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make air fryer chicken wings or Ninja Foodi chicken wings. Now this is the go-to recipe in the air fryer. It seems like this is usually the first one everyone tries, and they really are that good, so it's worth trying it out. They're also perfect for game day, and with a big game coming up in about a week or so, these are the go-to recipes. So I'm going to show you how to make them, and then I'm going to show you how you can use different sauces to make different flavors and coat them differently. So the first thing we need are our chicken wings. So I have those. I have my air fryer basket inside the Ninja Foodi, so it's ready to go. And then all I'm going to need is some olive oil spray. So the first thing I'm going to do is spray my basket with the olive oil spray. Then I'm going to go ahead and put some of these chicken wings in. Now keep in mind, when you're making these, we're going to sauce and coat them after they cook. So they're going to be cooked before we put them in the sauce. So we're going to go ahead and put these in here carefully so you don't scratch the bottom here. So I just usually put as many as I can. With chicken, the internal temperature needs to be 165 degrees. So before you take them out, that's what you need them to be at to be done. And we obviously want them well done. But you can squeeze them in quite a bit here. We're going to keep putting all of these in. Once we get them in, we are going to cook at 390 degrees. We're going to air fry it for 10 minutes. Then we are going to flip them and air fry them for another 10 minutes. These tend to do better if you flip them from what I've found. It's up to you though. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So let's see here. Put them all in. 3, 6, 9, 10. So I'm going to get about 11 of them in here. And then we're going to do another batch. But if you're just having you or just your family, this would probably be perfect. So once you get them in here, you're going to coat them again with the spray. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. And cracked pepper, just to give them a little bit of flavor. But we are going to coat them in sauce afterwards, so it doesn't have to be much here. So now we have them all ready to go. So I am going to go ahead and shut the lid here, and then I'm going to change this function here to air crisp. So now we have it on air crisp for 390 degrees. You can leave it on 20 minutes. If you can remember to come back and just lift the lid, check on them and flip them over. I tend to forget to come back and check on them, so I like to put it at 10 minutes so that I remember to walk back in here and check, because I am easily distracted. So we're going to go ahead and get that cooking, and then in 10 minutes we'll come back and we'll flip them over. So we have just a few seconds left before we hit the 10-minute mark, and at that point I'm going to lift up the lid and we're just going to flip the chicken wings over, spray them with another coat of the olive oil spray, and then cook them for an additional 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is up, I'm going to use my meat thermometer to be sure they're 165 degrees. So this is a ThermoWorks meat thermometer, and this is the ThermoPen, and it's super easy to use. You just flip this and put it in, and it's going to digitally tell you the temperature. So I like to keep this handy. I'm going to leave a link to it too on my website. I've actually used the ThermoWorks, sorry, not on my website, on the show notes below. I've used the ThermoWorks products for years, really. Maybe the whole time I've been doing my blog. I've always used theirs, and they work really well, and they last a long time, so that's why I've been using them for so long. So now this is ready to go, so I'm going to lift it up here. And you can see that they're browning up nicely, so we are going to just flip these over. Now they're still not fully cooked, so I would suggest just using the same tongs you used to put them in, but whenever we get them out, we're going to switch to different ones. Just personal preference there. So I'm just flipping these around so that they kind of evenly cook on both sides and get a little crispy on each side. and set this again. It should already be on 390. So we are just gonna reset the time to 10 minutes and shut our lid back. And then we are ready to cook it for 10 minutes and we'll check in on it and get them out, and I'll show you how to do the sauces. See here that they look amazing. So we are going to pull those out. Here's kind of what they look like. They're nice and brown. I'm just gonna stick them in a bowl for right now so I can get my other ones in. And then I will show you how to get these nice and coated. They're gonna be crispy. I can tell they're already done, but if you wanna check, because you may not know they're done, you can use the thermometer. So I'm just gonna sit it in here, and you can't probably see this, but it's over 200 degrees, so they're definitely done. So they only have to be 165 degrees. So I'm gonna set that aside for just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these in. Now, my air crisp pan is already pretty coated with oil just from cooking those, so I'm not even gonna mess with recoating it right now. I'll spray the tops of them here in a minute. But just for the purpose of putting this in here, I'm not gonna mess with recoating. Now, since I'm doing this again a second round, I am going to check on it probably closer to 15 minutes because the air fryer is already pretty hot, so they may not really take as long to cook as they normally do. So anytime that you use an air fryer, whether it's the Ninja Foodi or whatever air fryer you might have, it's always best to check in on them after about half the cook time has passed to be sure that they're cooking nicely and you don't overcook them, because a lot of these air fryers, they all seem to heat differently for some reason. So we are gonna go ahead and cook up this next batch. It looks like I'm gonna have about 3 batches. I used a big bag of wings, so that is why I have so many. So we are going to go ahead and sprinkle our salt. I did the olive oil. Sprinkle this, and I'm gonna get this started while I show you how to sauce these. So just move this over here. Go ahead and shut the lid. Should already be on 390. I'm gonna do 10 minutes again. And then whenever I reset it again, I'm gonna reset it for 5 minutes and check it, since I'm pretty sure they'll be done at 15 minutes since it's already so hot. So we're gonna get that started. So now that I have my wings ready, I have 3 types of sauce. So you can dip these in any type of sauce that you want, but you dip it after. So my sauce is warm, so it's not going to really mess with the heat. It's not gonna make them cold. If they are a little cold and you wanna heat them up, you can toss them back in the air fryer for about 2 minutes and it'll heat them right back up. So I have got Head Country. I usually use Head Country sauce. I have their sweet and sticky sauce, their apple habanero, which is my personal favorite. It's fabulous. And then I also have some of Frank's Red Hot buffalo sauce. So we are just gonna take a few of these and I'm just gonna put them in the sauce here. All you're gonna do is pick them up and dip them in and just coat them in the sauce. So I've got them all nice and coated. They're gonna be nice and sticky. And since the wings are hot, it's gonna heat that sauce up. So I'm gonna put them over here on this tray and shake off any of the excess sauce. And the sauce will kind of glaze to the wings since they're hot. So you can go ahead and do any of these sauces and just clean off the tongs each time. I'm going to do a few more of this sweet and sticky sauce, and then I'll clean off my tongs and move to some other ones. Okay, so I've cleaned off my tongs and now I'm going to use the buffalo sauce. So I'm just going to take these and dip them in this buffalo sauce. I am not a buffalo sauce person, but my husband likes it, so we're gonna do these for the game day that they're actually going to. They're about to head out to a party, so they will have their wings in time. Now when you see this video, the game is probably over that they were going to, but that's what we're preparing these for today. So I'll have a few more in the the buffalo sauce, and then I'll probably do my next batch all in the apple habanero sauce. So we'll finish these up, and then we will wait on these to cook, and I'll be back to show you some more sauces. So I've got this open. This is the second batch, and I checked the temperature and they're all good to go. So I'm already going to start here with this one. Since I'm not going to cook them anymore in here, I'm just taking them out and putting them in the sauce. So this is actually, I already have one in here. This is the apple habanero. This one is from Head Country. It's my favorite, and I don't actually like spicy anything. It's not super spicy like you think it would be. It's just a really light flavor, and I mean, it really coats this barbecue. It really adds a lot of flavor to the barbecue, or to whatever you're cooking, like chicken. We use it on ribs a lot. We also use it on bologna. We like to smoke bologna outside, so we use it on that, as well as basically anything else that we're doing. So I'm coating a lot of these in the apple habanero because that tends to be the favorite. So I like to give these a good coat of parsley on top just to give it some color and a little bit more texture and flavor to it. So we've got all the parsley on top, and we have our wings all ready to go. So that's kind of the final thing that I like to do as we plate it. And again, I put these on a sheet pan. It's a half sheet pan size. And then I use parchment on top of it. And then you can just serve them like this to your guests. So it's really a fun way to serve any kind of barbecue that you may be doing. I've got them all plated here so you can kind of see what I've got. And then we have the 3 different sauces. So we've got some of the sweet and sticky, buffalo, and then apple habanero. So you can plate them like this and have just different flavors all throughout, because you can really use any sauce that you prefer to use on your chicken wings. So once we've got that all plated like that, we can just serve it like this to our guests and leave it out so that they can come and get the wings that they want, because it still looks nice right on the sheet pan with the parchment paper. As always, you can find all that you need for this recipe, as well as anything I may have mentioned today, in the show notes below or on mommyhatescooking.com. And be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss what I'm cooking up next in my kitchen. Thanks so much for joining in. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode showing you how to make Ninja Foodi chicken wings, or air fryer chicken wings. As always, please be sure to subscribe so that you can stay tuned to the next video. And you can find this recipe and more on mommyhatescooking.com.